Let's just be friends. You ever heard that before? I think a lot of guys have. And depending on what came before that question, you either don't mind the proposition or it came after a rejection. In this video, I want to talk about male-female relationships, platonic relationships, and how often they don't work in the way guys think they do. And also why many guys feel cheated for participating in them. So let's start with this. When it comes to me personally, I can be platonic relationships with a woman, no problem. In fact, I've always said, if that option is on the table legitimately, under the right circumstances, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? I can trust myself, but I don't trust a woman to have male friends because that opens the door for too much shit that I'm not interested in trying to figure out. I don't trust what the dude is on, and I don't trust the chick to be honest or legit about her relation to a guy either. And circumstances can change very quickly, whether you know or not. A lot of women have these male friends or male cousins, male colleagues, male associates, male followers, and the equation can become very questionable since all you can go off of is what they say, which we all know is quite unreliable. And I've encountered many times that women tend to lie about their association to men. Now, I've had women I've been cool with throughout my life, and I've always said having a chick that keeps it real is a good thing. Having the right amount of feminine energy around you is a good thing. But I've also learned many times in life, never assume that others see things the same way as you do. This is why the guys who wear their I'm not insecure badge or the guys who are the most understanding get done the dirtiest in life. You assume a woman will play fair, and most times they don't. Like, just think for a second. You know how many times guys have heard a woman say, "Oh, that's my guy friend." Then down the road it turns out, "Oh, we dated at one point. Oh, that's actually my ex. Oh, he actually asked me out back then." A lot of fellas be letting women play in their face. Like, okay, I trust you. I believe you. Things are always normal until they're not. Oh, her and the guy aren't doing anything, and then they are. Or they're just chilling, and then her waist gets grabbed. Or they're just going to an event, and then everybody leaves, and it's just them alone. Normal, right? Until she's tired and his place is the nearest bed. It's normal until they're in the car at 2 a.m. sharing intimate conversations. Then it goes from normal to it just happened. Like, even going further, and I don't want to get too specific about this, but have y'all ever been out with a girl, let's say in the car, and her phone starts ringing? And you know how awkward it gets when an unexpected call comes in, sometimes at least. Because it's like, oh shit, I hope that ain't me. But she'll answer the phone, and it's a dude on the other end. And it's not just any dude either, like a brother or father or uncle, whoever. It's an unidentified dude. And you know that voice women put on when they're trying to sound sweet or sexy or convincing like? They start talking like that, all fake as hell. They'll have a quick convo and ask the guy what he's doing, and the guy will ask what she's doing, and she'll tell him that she's out with a friend or the girls or doing something random, which is a lie because she's with you. Then she hangs up the phone and goes back to acting accordingly with you. It's a very interesting experience. It almost will confuse you because what the F just happened? But again, I ain't gonna say too much, but there's a reason I say not to trust women. Certain situations will educate you and make you see how easy it is for them to do things and be places with other people or friends, and you will be none the wiser. Now, as always, I like to get terms and definitions straight. You see, when the topic comes up questioning if men and women can be friends, people like to say, "Oh yeah, of course men and women can be friends." And then when it's time to give examples, it's a coworker, it's somebody from the club, it's somebody they see at the gym every now and then, or a friend or a family member, or somebody they see once in a while. Like, okay, sure. But when we're talking about friends, I'm not talking about mutuals or acquaintances or vague colleagues or friends of a friend in the same friend group, things of that nature. I'm talking about a man and a woman, one-to-one, one-on-one, frequently seeing each other consistently enough in contact, spending time with each other, and spending and performing regular activities together. How often are those people just friends? How often is that dynamic balanced in a fair way? Look, if you ask me just in general, in terms of a lot of people, recurring platonic relationships between men and women aren't exactly natural or normal. If I'm wrong, then somebody's gonna have to show me a place on planet Earth where men and women spend time together platonically in large numbers. I have yet to find out about that place. And I don't want to hear about the coworkers again, especially after the things I've encountered. Like, yeah, you'll see a dude and a girl interacting as friends on the clock. As soon as they exit them doors, it's a different ball game. But yeah, in general, we just don't see it. And that's why when you see a man and a woman claim to be friends but doing things together, there's something else going on. Either somebody's being exploited via the friend zone, somebody's playing for the same team, or there's some sexual extracurriculars that aren't being discussed. Like, if a chick shows up with a dude to a family event or something like that, ain't nobody buying that they're just friends. Come on now. So to answer the question, if men and women can just be friends, I'll say sure. If we're just giving a name to the association with each other. Again, if a chick told me she had a male friend, I ain't buying it. Most of the time, and the key is most, there's three types of male friends. There's the guy who wants more and lingers around hoping that she will change her mind eventually, but she maintains the status quo. The second one is the guy who typically plays for the same team, doesn't like women or is LGBT status. Or number three, the guy who is currently a secret lover or potential lover or side dude or new man. When men and women are friends, quote unquote, it's usually through something else. It's rare that a man and women, especially as adults, will just meet each other through some random setting and start hanging out regularly without some extracurriculars. Just like sometimes I'll say women will play with terminologies, they play with the term friend. For example, there's a difference between when a woman says, I'm going out with my friend versus going out with a friend. Something else is going on. And this is a good time to usher in the friend zone conversation because I've been waiting to get to that one. And so I believe a large amount of male-female relationships that are not business related or something of that sort are started because a man listened to the mainstream dating advice like, just be her friend first. And he does it so he can be different than all those alleged pigs and jerks who just want one thing. Or he wants to seem less aggressive to the girl he wants to get. They become friends, quote unquote, with a woman as a token in hopes that it leads to a relationship. The problem with the friend zone is it's like being a surrogate boyfriend on steroids with most of the negatives and none of the positives. Most guys who are in the friend zone will not admit this, but they give these women money for bills, money to go out with, borrow money that she'll never have to pay back, become her lifeline like an IOU or ATM machine, constant favors, moving furniture, putting her into favorable positions. The guy in the friend zone is always the one planning things or suggesting one-on-one time or buying tickets places or doing all these things, right? I know how it goes. Every time she gets around you, her phone is about to be turned off for late payment, or her rent is short, or a utility bill got to get paid, or she lost her purse, or her goldfish died so she needs money to replace it. The funniest part is, oftentimes guys in the friend zone will be the most romantic ones on a woman roster. They will idolize her and idealize her, buying Valentine's gifts, picking her up from everywhere, always being available. They'll be giving the most elaborate and over-the-top compliments ever, like, you are God's greatest gift to earth, a shining star in my eyes, such a beautiful soul. You deserve the best. Man, women love that shit, especially when they don't deserve it. Just not the way you think they do. Like, imagine you talking to someone once in a while, and just because they have an affinity for you or an attraction for you, they think you're the greatest thing to ever exist. You think that it doesn't inflate a woman's ego or validate her in the way she moves in general? Even if she's living sideways, she's still going to use that affirmation to make herself feel better or above you. Like I said, I've been on the wrong side of this stuff before, so I know. I mean, even just going deeper into the friend zone, every time she has a problem in her life, here you come. I really want to emphasize this, man. Women are well aware of this dynamic, but will almost never be honest about it. They know when a man wants them. They know it. She knows that you want more. She knows. And so she will happily use that to her advantage. I'm telling you, these women who have guys in their friend zone giving them all this shit, they'll be sitting around with their homegirls just bragging about it and talking about what they get guys to do and the things that guys do and the way guys go out of their way for them. And sometimes they will even, just to see how far you will go, sometimes they'll be like, hey girl, watch this. Watch how fast he buys me his tickets. Watch how fast he takes me here. Watch how fast he sends me this money. Look what I have this fool doing for me. In most situations, when you try to entice a woman and she turns you down saying, hey, just want to be friends, she's not asking you to be her friend. She's asking you to be her fan. And while you're out here doing all these things for her as a friend and thinking you're going to gain brownie points, she's just enjoying the ride. It's almost like you're just one of her hoes. or you're on her roster, just the non-sexual side. Again, they won't tell you this, but I will. Hell, guys who take women on 18 dates are in this category too, so at least you ain't alone. I always say this though, and this is a bit of a sidetrack, but a lot of men end up in the friend zone because they believe in the friends to lovers romance trope. Doing all the things I named is him auditioning for her love, and one day she'll see how great he is, and how reliable he is, and how nice he is, and how safe he is, and how he doesn't just want her sexually, he wants her heart. But the thing is, in real life, if we're being honest, a woman wants to know if you want her in that way. Otherwise, best case scenario, she has plausible deniability and claim that you don't want her because you never overtly approached her. Or worst case scenario, she'll think you're a punk with an O or repping the rainbow flag. That's why if you're gonna approach a chick, you're better off approaching her on business, not on BS, as opposed to trying to tiptoe around it. Like, if you get rejected, you get rejected. Instead, guys will do all that work for a pat on the head, plus an "oh, you're nice, you're so sweet" by being in her friend zone. But yeah, moving on, there's a reason you don't really hear about women in the friend zone. And I'll touch on this in my video about situationships, but women often dream about things like getting out of boring relationships into passionate ones, cheating on or leaving Mr. Okay for Mr. Perfect, or living an ordinary life and then one day getting caught in a whirlwind romance. But meeting a guy and becoming his friend and sending him money and doing favors and all the works just for something more? Come on now, women don't have to do that. That's what situationships are for. They get to skip all the way to the end and then work backwards. I will say this though, there are guys who do go from friend zone and get upgraded to boyfriend, but these are usually guys who stuck around to the end. Like, she's just tired of dating and tired of hooking up with the other guys and tired of the toxic guys and getting smashed and ghosted. And she just says mentally like, what the hell, might as well. I guess he's still here. What's the worst that could happen? Or the guy just gets upgraded and tired more than anything. It doesn't make her more passionate or romantic about him or anything. It's just a better name. You can oftentimes see this when they say like, I wasn't attracted to my boyfriend at first, or I wasn't attracted to my husband at first. You know how many people are in platonic marriages and platonic relationships? A lot of them. And the worst part is, when these wait your turn relationships fail, they damn near hate these guys worse than the guys who smashed and ghosted them. So who has the bigger problem? I got a bit off track there for a while, but I want to circle back to the front. Who has the bigger problem in handling platonic relationships? First, I'll say this simply, and this ties into everything I've said until this point. It's very difficult for men to not want to cross that line into being sexual. And it's also difficult for women to not turn it into an extractionary, aromantic, one-sided relationship, because even though you are her quote-unquote friend, she still wants you to be a man, right? A lot of men have a hard time not developing an attachment or a desire or an interest in a woman who's around regularly. That's just biology, man. But women can avoid this easier because they have more male interactions in general, and I mention this all the time. If you're a dude and you're not really getting around any women like that, but there's this one girl you're taking out all the time, talking to frequently, and holding communication with, it's hard to not eventually turn your attention to her at some point full time. Like, oh my God, I think I love her. But for women, most of the time, that ain't nothing. Like, they can text a guy 24/7, sit on the phone, go places, let you pay, let you tell her about how great she is, tell you about the guy or the guy she smashed, and not have any romantic or sexual feelings for you whatsoever. If anything, she'll probably think you're weird or something at some point. Most women will never say this, but the more time you spend with a woman without moving towards something more, the less interested she'll become in doing that with you. Even if it was a possibility at the beginning, if you didn't move towards her like that, she ain't gonna want it. This is in complete contrast to the mainstream advice of being friends first to get a woman's heart. This is why one guy can be friends with the woman, but there's undertones, there's eye contact, there's tension, and that creates what you would call friends with benefits as opposed to being friend zone. Again, biology trumps all. Now, on the other side, women also create problems in platonic relationships, which I kind of touched on. In fact, I'll say most platonic relationships only last for as long as the man is somewhat attracted to her, or at least believes there is some chance they could end up together. I know it's kind of an oxymoron, but if you see it, you'll get it. When it comes to straight male friends, emphasis on straight, women typically benefit from these relationships overwhelmingly. Why? Because women don't just let dudes around them who aren't doing something for them. This is true here, just like in dating. As an exercise, I want you to imagine if that chick you're friends with was a stud or a lesbian. Would you really be doing those things for her? Probably not. But as we dive deeper into what I mean by women typically benefit overwhelmingly from straight male friends, let's think about how women often handle their female friends. There's usually a standard of they better show up for every birthday party, they better show up for the trip she plans, they better show up for the event she hosts. So in general, women tend to judge their female friends first and foremost by how often they are present, or how often they are in attendance, or seen, or support, right? This communicates support. Sure, they might have that one or two homegirls who they'll ask money for or a ride for, but they don't really want to do that because they know a falling out can lead to some pettiness and some other information getting passed around. So that's where male friends come in. Male friends don't really ask women for favors. They don't ask for money. Male friends don't ask for help if the car breaks down. Male friends don't ask and they don't request help for like moving furniture, right? You know when a male friend might ask for the most? To just talk. That's it. Just talk. So in exchange for talking, a woman gets sort of like a boyfriend who doesn't want anything for her. She gets a lifeline. Dudes just don't ask for things. Why? Because they know if they ask for too much, they're gonna get cut off. Some women love having male friends because they're less demanding, less petty, and there's no expectation, or at least less expectation of reciprocation. Some love it to the point where all they have is male friends. And like I said again, men in general are judged based on what they can do for a woman anyways. You better be someone she can call to get in somewhere, whether it's a club, a party, an event. You better be there to help her lift furniture. You better be handy or know someone who could get the jobs done. You better have some type of connections that she can tap into. So the principles stay the same as it goes for their romantic relationships. In other words, women love to extract more value than they put in. Last thing I'll add though is because of all the things I've talked about here, there are some women who don't bother with having male friends because they already know what's going to get to it eventually. But the thing is, that doesn't usually stop them from dating men they don't find attractive, which is in practice the same thing. Essentially, women are extremely utilitarian about the men they allow in their lives. They're not just going to sit around and talk to dudes unless they're getting something out of it. What's the point? What's in it for her? Because per usual, everything ties back into the modern dating game. A lot of women who are active on the dating scene would rather have a roster of 90% guy friends or guys who are friend zoned who do a bunch of things for them with no expectation. And then they'll have the last 10% as a rotation of guys who they're sexually or romantically involved with because that's usually the percentage of guys that they actually find attractive anyways. Just is what it is. I think I repeated myself enough though. So anyways, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other content on my channel. I got a bunch of them now, about 100 videos are archived. Check out my newsletter where I share notes just like this straight to your inbox. And as always, subscribe for more. Peace.